Dryer that wants to reclaim the hot air. What issues do you see with something like that? Is like, why aren't more guys doing this reclaim system if it's, you know, so efficient?
Right. So there's always going to be trade-offs in anything you do.
Yep.
One of the reasons why you're probably gravitating towards a mixed flow dryer is because you've heard that they're more efficient, they might do a better job, more thoroughly drying the grain.
Our main reason is because of just grain quality. Being this far north, up north, you know, we don't have as long growing season. Our test weights maybe don't get to be quite as good, or potentially could have an issue with that.
Right.
So we're just trying to mitigate risk in situations that were caused by maybe a bad, you know, putting in a screen dryer and not, you know, realizing that, and then it's costing us money, and by then it's too late.
So what do you know about screen dryers, right? Why aren't you wanting to go towards a screen dryer?
Well, just from what I've read, it's just that, you know, that kernel is right up against the heat. You know, you're putting in that much heat instantly to the grain, and you're getting maybe some stress cracks on the grain, or you want as good a quality as you can have, and so by doing it this way, you're not necessarily flash drying that corn.
Good.
Is that a correct statement?
Absolutely right. You've done your homework, so you know the mixed flow drying principle is unlike a cross flow style dryer, right? Our typical screen dryers, we've been making those for 60, 70 years.
Your classic screen.
So you're more thoroughly heating the grain, and we can talk a little bit more about our smart flow technology, which is where it evenly distributes the air from the inside to the outside a little bit more. I got a little mock-up over there. I can show you that too. But what you're describing about the screen dryer, when you talk about your competitors that have this heat reclamation system, you're doing exactly what you're trying to avoid, right? You're using mixed flow drying technology because you want it to be more thoroughly dried from the inside to the outside, front to back, the kernels all to be the same uniform moisture within reason, right? As soon as you go into a cooling chamber that is now using traditional cross-flow cooling techniques, all that work that you've just put into that grain to more thoroughly dry it, you're now essentially causing stress fractures and all sorts of kind of like quenching that's going on, because you're blasting what is probably 70 to 80 CFM per bushel across that grain, whereas up here you're 35 to 40 CFM per bushel. So if you want to talk about not doing that to your grain, go with a mixed flow top to bottom, and don't try to do this fancy cooling in the bottom where maybe you pick up, if you're lucky, 10% efficiency. Your grain quality is worth more than that.